Good morning. This is Lawrence Shorter, student number 24225607, and this is EVTP 702. In the previous lesson, we actually tackled the advertising principle, looking at the aspects of the consumer behavior. Like any other field, there'll always be principles that governs that particular sector. So is advertising. Um, we are left with one aspect. We tackled the culture and subcultures. We looked at social class, social mobility, conformity and non-conformity, and also reference groups. So the last one that we're going to look at today is information processing by consumers. We know that once the consumers are exposed to an advertisement, they get to a point wherein they process that information to arrive at a point wherein they purchase that particular product. Well, um, when processing the information, they go through phases, and these phases are four. The first one is exposure, the second one is attention, the third one is comprehension, and the last one is retention. With exposure, that's when the consumers are exposed to the advertisement. They either they actually use their senses, the sound, and also sight. In terms of sight, that's what they get to see on newspapers, on television. And then in terms of sound, it will be via audio or even on radio, wherein the advertisement gets to air. So once they see the ad, they are exposed to the ad, they moved to the stage of attention. And then in order to grab the consumer's attention, we need to use special tactics, or rather techniques. you know in most cases, some would even use happy music. When you are seeing an ad on television and there's probably a soft music playing in the background, wherein a product is advertised. Some people are music fanatics. The minute you get to hear that sound plays in the background, you get to your attention, get the ad gets to get your attention. Even in terms of when you are passing by the stores and then they're playing a certain music and the salespersons are advertising a product, you'd get that gets to get your attention. Some would even go to use in your humorous dialogues. Some would even use statements, wherein we know that in with regard to statements, they normally come with facts, they normally come with stats, just to prove that whatever the product or other service that's being advertised works, and if our consumers are to buy it, it will also work well for them. And then once you have their attention, we move to the phase of comprehension. In terms of comprehension, we are the advertisers, and our role is to ensure that whatever the messages that we send across get across to our consumers very well, without any distortion, or rather the misinterpretation of information from the side of the the consumers. you know we normally advertise with a message in mind, to say, if we to advertise this product, this is how we want people to view this product, and this are the message that we want to send out to our people. And then once we move from comprehension, we get to the retention stage. In terms of the retention, that's when the ad has been playing a number of times. For instance, when we know that whenever you switch your television, you're going to come across the advertisement of clientele life. Let's say you are watching a show, it probably air about the insurance, and then through breaks it will air, and then even after shows and going on, it will also air. And then as it airs like that, there's no way one wouldn't remember the message that's being passed by clientele life, because it gets to play many times, or rather several times, and then there's no way our consumers would forget whatever that the advertisement was about, or the message that it is trying to get across. Well, we also have the requirements for us to arrive at a situation wherein we're saying our advertisement was effective, or rather it yielded positive or rather good results. And then they are as follows: we have the IDA model, which is the IDA formula. We have products or rather the services. We have the target market or the target audience. We have objectives, and also the presentation style. In terms of the IDA model, that's your attention, your interest, your desire, and also the action. You know, in getting first thing first, we know that we need to get the attention, and in getting the attention, you need to be strategic. You know, asking your your consumers questions to say, for instance, does the smell of your breath embarrass you at times, right? Here would probably it'll be your dentist advertising their services, or a toothpaste. So obviously, the minute you ask such a question, that's going to get your consumers' attention, and they'll be like, okay, if this question, obviously, if I have a smell breath, obviously there might be a solution, and that will get the attention of that particular person. Sometimes you can go on to give them commands to say, drink by drinking spring water you'll have a good health. Obviously, when someone says if you drink spring water you'll have a good health, it might have been that this product might have worked for these people, or it is scientifically proven, and whenever there are comments, people tend to believe the advertisement. Some would even go to an extent of making promises. If I go on to give you a promise to say, if you use this shampoo for 6 months, it's a hair shampoo, you use it for 6 months on your hair will grow thick. Obviously, you're going to purchase the product. There's no way you wouldn't purchase the product, because I would have came to you, I would have given you the facts, I would have given you the stats, and I am promising you to say, if it is to not work, you can come back to me and tell me that your product didn't work. But because I am quite sure about whatever the thing that I am telling you, obviously you'll buy the product. And then we also have the interest. In terms of the interest, this is where we try by all means to get the attention. We want, even though we know that we got the attention, we want to maintain that interest throughout. We wouldn't want it to be a situation wherein they buy the product once and then they disappear. Here you'd provide your statistics, you'd provide your text, your stats, and even some interesting information about the products or even the services. And then we also have the desires. In terms of the desires, we all have the same desires, which are based on our psychological needs, right? So if I am to advertise the products and based it around the psychological needs of people, obviously they are going to purchase the product. It will lead us to a point wherein we have the action. In terms of the action, this is where we sell the product. The product is sold, or rather the service is sold. Here our consumers make takes an action to go to the stores and purchase the product. Here we could give, or go on to give you trial periods to say, if you happen to use this products for 6 months and it doesn't give you the results that you are looking for, you can take it back. And then we can have free sample, those small sachets, your special offer, and also mystery discounts, wherein people would go on to try the product, and then once they see results they can come back to the stores and make a purchase, right? So now, going on, the other requirement is that, and the other one is the product, or rather the service. Here we're trying by all means to convince our consumers to purchase the products. Here we are giving them every detail about the product, where it was, how it was manufactured, the ingredients, the instruction on how it should be used, and everything. Because we know that it is regarded as an unethical advertising to omit certain information, or rather give false information whenever you are advertising the product. And then you can even go on to give them the information on why you think it is so special, or what makes you think that it is different from other products that are in the market. So that way you'll actually get the attention of the consumers. You can even give them the product cycle to say this product will last for this long. You can use it for this long. But that would come after you as an advertiser have tried the product and you are sure about what you are talking about, as a business person, or rather an advertiser. We also have your target audience, or rather target market. Here we are talking about the people that purchases the product. We would have done your market research, wherein we arrive at market segmentation. We know who we are selling, we are going to sell our products to, right? So now we classify our products according to segments to say, for instance, we have your demographic, we also have psychographic and also geographic. In terms of demographic, we have your gender, we have your age, we have language, we have occupation, income, and educational level. We know that the middle class people would prefer certain products, and those that are poor would prefer certain products, or due to the affordability and the income they are getting, right? So we also have the psychographic. In terms of the psychographic, we look at the values, we look at the lifestyle, and also the attitudes of people. For instance, if we know that these people are from this particular cultural group, they would prefer or rather value this type of products. And that we would know to say, you know what, if we to advertise this product, we'll actually use this language that's spoken by this particular group, and would use this medium that's, or probably your community mediums that covers that particular area only, to avoid spending a lot of money on advertising, yet we are not specific about who we are advertising to. We also have the geographic area. Okay, the work or home areas, is it urban or rather, or even rural areas? We know that your urban and rural areas are different, and even when we market our products, it will actually be different. We Urban areas are more developed, they have like your internet connections and all that. So even if you make a choice of any medium, if you are in urban areas, obviously the message will still get across. But if you to go to deep down rural areas, or rather previously disadvantaged areas, it will actually be difficult for the message to get across, because you might find that certain households do not have access to the particular medium, or the mediums that you will be using to communicate that particular message, or rather advertise the product that you want to advertise. So it is quite important that you know and understand the areas that you want to sell your product to, or rather advertise your products at. So the other one is objective, or rather the aim of advertising your product. Well, we know that we have the general objectives of advertising, wherein it is to persuade, it is to inform, and also remind our customers about the product that we are selling. Here, it could be that we want to reach the target audience. Obviously, we have a product, we have segmented, we know who we want to sell to, but we want to make sure that the message that we want to send across gets directly, or rather penetrated the market that we want it to get to. Then the other one could be that we want to give them information. We get to develop products daily, we get to bring about new ingredients, test new ingredients into our products, and it is only fair that we go on to give our customers, or rather the consumers, more information about the products that we are selling, because it would seem as a bit of unethical advertising if we are not giving them the information about the products that we are selling. Sometimes it's just to get the reaction of the consumers. you know um, as you sell the products, or rather advertise the products. Let's say, for instance, on social media, you know, you have an option to enable the comments section, wherein those that have purchased the product or that uses your services can come on to give the reviews about your product, right? So it could be, let's say it's a new product in the market, it could be that you go on to um, tell them to say, you know what, if you use this product, these are the results that you will get at the end of the day. And it is quite important that you get the feedback from time to time so that you know when to improve on as an advertiser. And then the other option is an option of the presentation styles, right? We have different products. We market our products to different people, and it is only fair that you consider the style that you are going to use. Some would be humorous, some would be serious or rather more formal, and then some would be casual, right? uh, you need to consider the music or the pictures of or rather the choice of words, even the print layout, all the formats that contributes to the advertisements. One will have to be extra careful when dealing with such, because if you're not careful, obviously your advertisement will not be attractive and people won't buy the product at the end of the day. And the main goal here is to ensure that people buy the product at the end of the day and the sales of the organizations rises. Well, this is the end of our lesson today. We still left with four more of them, which is the factual or rather the hard sell, the imaginative, so which is the soft sell, and then the negative presentation, and also humorous presentation, which are actually the last requirements that we'll deal with in the next lecture. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you guys have enjoyed or rather learned something throughout this lesson. Till we meet again, God bless.